Welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast, episode 320. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Chad Wallace, and in this show, we will be discussing a P80 frame, 10mm Sigs, and another scope. So, with me tonight are the usual band of raccoons. Tony, Rob, and Zane. Now, before we do what we did in guns or firearms or whatever, I would like to say a note. For those that didn't know, the Firearms Radio Network did lose a friend of a lot of ours, Kenny Ortega. He was the producer at This Week in Guns. Huge friend to the FRN, so we wish his family all the best in these difficult times. In our show notes are a link to a PayPal link that links to donations for basically the money will be divvied up to his 2A charities, so to speak, that he likes. And then there's also a GoFundMe in there for his family and such. So if you want to donate to those, that would be much appreciated. We wish you well, Kenny, on your new journey. So
yeah, Kenny was a actual 2A advocate and was willing to take over 2A 4E out in California. So he was really down for the cause, and he will be missed.
Yes.
Yep. And a lot of people may not know this, but he has written reviews for the show before. He just didn't come on and do them. They are on the farmsradio.tv.
Actually, I believe we got him to do one once, and we're talking
a while back
before I was the host, and it was like I may have even missed that show, but no.
Wait a
I think
minute, you've always been the host of this show.
No. Our buddy Ryan was the host.
Who? Who's he?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know who he is. I think he lives in Washington, and they shut him down.
Well, he should.
But yes. So now that we got all the really crappy stuff out of the way, did anybody do anything fun in guns?
Nope.
I did.
About to. Got an envelope full of gun.
And he's frozen.
Oh, he didn't robot. He just went straight to the freezer, man.
Well,
Wow.
and what's he got there? A bag of contraband? Is that what I see? I can't tell.
Looks
Oh,
like
he's
crack.
back. You froze, Tony.
Yeah, we heard bag of, and that was it.
And that was it.
And he froze again.
Well, okay. Somebody else. Rob, I know you did something.
I did do something. Well, Tony, all we heard was I got a bag of, and then
Gun parts. I'm going to be doing some bills. I got my lower parts kits in.
Ooh. Gun
Awesome.
Gun part porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, my stepdad came down for the weekend, and we went to the gun range on Sunday. Went to the 200-yard rifle range at Okeechobee and had a great time. Got there at 9 o'clock for the members' hour. Shot there till around noon. Got a couple different rifles out, and then when I left, the place was packed. I mean, absolutely.
Which place is that, Rob? In Okeechobee?
Yeah, Okeechobee Shooting Sports.
Okay, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, I was on the gallery, the rifle gallery range, and when I left about a half hour before I was getting ready to leave, there were people coming up. They're like, "Sorry, you have to go to the other range." So they're diverting people to other ranges because the range I was at was packed, and then the next range over was packed. And I took a quick trip around, and all the pistol pits were packed. It's like, okay, I know in some states they're having issues with keeping ranges open during this time, but not in Florida. And the weird part is everybody was maintaining their distance and this, that, and the other. A few people had on the masks and stuff, and most people were like, whatever, you know.
Heck, you should probably wear a mask at the shooting range all the time just to protect you from that lead. I mean,
well, I do make it a habit to wash my hands before I leave.
Oh yeah, I have.
Get all the crap off your hands,
I have baby wipes in my shooting bag just so if you actually need to do something, you could wipe your hands.
That's because you're old. That's because you're old and poop yourself uncontrollably.
Well, there's that too, but when you get to be
Well-
like 600 years old, what do you expect?
Well, that might not be a bad idea for Okeechobee because unless you want to walk back to the main lodge, whatever you call it, check-in place, it's pretty much porta potties out there.
Yeah,
So
I got you.
Both of those ranges in Okeechobee are really nice, considering Okeechobee's not really nice.
yeah, well, you got that, then you got the cowboy range, and the thing is,
Corral.
yeah. The thing about the OK Corral is they've had a little fight between the two because all the people that live around there are saying, "Oh, you're shooting guns into my backyard, and your bullets are hitting me," and yada yada yada. It's like, so they had to. If you look at Okeechobee, they've got this big wall erected about halfway down the 200-yard range, and it goes up about 20 feet, and there's just a wall of railroad ties and tree stumps and crap. It's like telephone poles to keep bullets from ricocheting out of the range.
We did a bachelor party there about a year and a half ago.
I mean, it's a great place.
Awesome place.
Yeah.
Zane, did you do anything?
I was on another podcast, but I didn't talk a lot because most of it was about cold weather gear. And Florida boy don't know nothing about cold weather.
Oh, nice, right?
Yes, we do. If it gets below 70, it's cold. That's cold weather gear.
They're all talking about, when I'm hunting and it gets below like -20, I'm like, I'm just going to mute my mic.
Yeah,
it's probably wise.
If it gets below -20, I'm going to go inside and have a beer.
Yeah, dude, a -20. What are you hunting? Hypothermia?
I don't know.
I mean, where I
Probably
live,
elk.
if it gets 0, well, I suppose some places you hunt it might get -10, but no, 0 is cold here.
Well, I own one jacket, like a legit jacket, and I've worn it like 5 times ever. I've had it for like 5 years.
I got rid of all my jackets when I moved back to Florida from North Carolina. And now, unless you're talking -20 Celsius, I think that's a little different scale. But
look, I live in Jersey, dude. If you want to go hunting and get an actual successful deer hunt, what you do is rent a really expensive rental car and don't get their insurance. Don't get their insurance and then drive down the turnpike or the parkway, and a deer will jump directly in front of you, and you will hit it. Yeah. Dude,
so why don't you want to get their insurance?
Oh, because you have to pay for it out of your pocket, and that almost guarantees it'll pull a deer directly in front of the car.
100%.
You get their insurance, dude. You won't hit a deer. I've gone accidentally off-roading in a rental car before.
What,
no damage.
You mean a Kia Sonata's not supposed to go off the road?
Son, do you think I could get a Kia Sonata to move with me in it?
It might move. You just would never get in it.
You joke, but
I figured it'd be like the Flintstones, Tony.
I have the greatest clown car story ever, but it's long and it's completely not related to the topic.
It's not gun related? Okay.
No. But I'll tell y'all later.
So,
quick thing I want to get out there so people can look for it, because I was on another podcast too. But one of the cool things is Charlie Cook's coming out with a podcast where firearms instructors, defensive firearms instructors, are drinking alcohol and watching gun guy movies and talking over it, like Mystery Science Theater 3000.
That's a recipe for success.
So look for that. It's going to be fun. We watched John Wick, the very first one.
Nice.
You know, that wasn't a bad movie. I thought it was pretty decent.
I think the first one was good.
Except for all of the all the center access relock in those movies. And it makes it hard to watch. It really does.
Oh, it makes it so entertaining to watch because people bought into that so hard and so deep when it first came out.
Yeah, they did. And now they're probably doing it again now, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because of John Wick.
Also, Self-Defense Gun Stories I was on this week, and This Week in Guns. So, had a good week.
Do you get paid for that?
Which part?
All those shows you're on.
Like my Magpul hat?
You like my Vortex mug?
That's the way you do it, dog. That's the way you do it.
Free clothes.
So,
yeah,
I'm pretty much with not everybody else. I didn't do anything in guns. I did get a backpack in for review from Tasmanian Tiger. This thing, it's actually sitting on the back of the chair now, but it's like a 25-liter backpack. it's their covert line, I guess, because
it looks good.
Yeah, there's some
All
pictures
right.
on the Instagram page,
Now,
but
Chad, can you actually put 25 1-liter bottles in that backpack?
no, but I'm thinking I should like freeze 25 liters of water and stick it in it and see if it leaks out.
Give it to your wife and don't take it to work with her.
But this thing is packed with like Velcro on the inside and mole slotted Velcro. I don't know how to explain it. Just when you see the review, but it's built like a tank. I mean, it really is. So I was thoroughly impressed when I first opened it. So
What level Cordura is it? 500, 1000? What is it?
it is 700, I think, but it's thick. It's got, YKK zippers, various pockets. You can take an insert in the middle to make it just one big pocket. It came with a kind of holster for a pistol. My 7.5-inch AR, however, will not fit in it, which I didn't expect it to. But yeah, so eventually we'll get a review on that. So far, so good. Maybe I'll drag it around behind a pickup for Tony. I guess we can get on to the announcements now. You can go to the gunandgearcult.com to pledge your support for us. There's $1, $5, $15, $25 levels. Right now, you have to renew it every month until I don't know, get approved, or I don't know exactly. That's the wrong word. But there are a couple people there that have pledged. Our bandwidth sponsor, of course, is our buddies at Patriot Patch Co. You can join the patch of the month. I did just get our April Easter patch, bunny here. And because Jake likes me, he sent me the P51B model Mustang patch that I asked him if he would send me. I told him I needed it to match my tattoo. I guess he thought so too. Let's see where we are.
Okay, what really happened is you begged him until he said, okay, shut up. It's worth the patch just to get you to shut up.
That's probably really what it was, but don't tell anybody.
I mean, he definitely threw me some extra stickers.
Yeah, I got a couple extra stickers too, so I was like, hey, cool. So I think that was because he was having problems getting them out, so I think he kind of thought it.
I think he hooked everybody up a little bit. Yep,
I think so. So there's the burger patch is still for pre-order, and that's about all I saw. So of course, if you're shopping Amazon, you can always use the firearmsradio.tv/Amazon affiliate link. We have a Matador Arms affiliate link and an Amend 2 affiliate link. So if you're buying magazines or any of the awesome Matador Arms stuff, you can go to the links in the show note. They're also on the firearmsinsider.tv website. And coming up soon, we're going to have a listener question episode. I'm guessing 6 or 7 episodes from now, probably. So send them in. I am gathering stuff up to give to people that said to go into a drawing for people that send in questions. So if you are a Gun and Gear Cult member and you submit a question, you get an extra entry. So you can get 2 instead of 1.
I don't know if I'd want stuff that you're going to put in a drawing.
Why not? Matador Arms.
Because God only knows what it's going to be. It's probably going to be sick and perverted.
Now, Matador Arms said they'd give us some stuff, like maybe a $50 coupon code. Strike Industries said they'd give us some stuff. Odin Works is going to send us some T-shirts. And Team POI, which they do a bunch of like long-range shooting stuff, but they also are Devil Dog Arms and stuff. They're going to send us some stuff. I don't know what. They just said, give me your address. So
that is some Tony level hustling you're doing right there.
Hey, somebody's got to do it. And this is for people to send us questions. And when we do the show, if we have too many decent questions, we'll just do another show. And then if we still have prizes, we'll just give them out on Instagram or something. We'll figure something out.
We'll figure out. We'll do something.
Exactly. So if you want to send the questions in, we'll take them Facebook, Instagram, or Gun and Gear Review Podcast. All of the emails and everything else. Now Rob can get to his favorite part, especially since him and I are
guaranteed to screw up.
Since him and I are drinking.
Hey, you're drinking. I got my cigar. Let's see if we can get this. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual co-hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of the Firearms Radio Network and/or their employers. This is not legal advice, nor should it be considered as such. Viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows. Wow,
Yay!
I need to drink and smoke every show.
Maybe. What?
We don't have a review. Crap.
No.
So let's do a product spotlight and discussion. Not a review. And Chad is going to start us off on the discussion with the Polymer 80 PF320P. It's a freaking Sig Sauer Polymer 80 pistol grip, right?
Hey, yes, it is the Polymer 80 Sig P320 pistol grip module. MSRP it's $60 from Polymer 80. Basically, this is their grip module for the 320s. It's got their grip stippling, which is pretty much equivalent of their standard Polymer 80 frames. It's kind of got the same trigger guard, rail, basically all the stuff, 1911 grip angle, all the stuff that Polymer 80 is known for, just for the Sig P320. It's got they call it their P-Tex grip texture, high beaver tail undercut. So on the 320, you get a better bore axis, they say, which I can believe. Double undercut trigger guard, like we said. Modified proprietary ambidextrous magazine release. That's kind of cool. It is only compatible with the 9mm components so far. It is compatible with the 320 full and carry slides, the X5 full and carry slides, and the 320 VTAC slides. So if you have a 320, you know what those are. I believe you can also get these. Color options are black, FDE, OD green, gray, and cobalt, which, is kind of cool. It is, as I believe right now, it is only in one size. So you get what you get, but it's not like they're expensive. So if you just want to try one out, $60. I don't know what Brownells is selling it for, but probably wait till one of their deals and you'll get it cheap. I like their texture. I like the way their stuff feels. So if I had a 320, I might consider getting one. It's kind of it makes them look a little different. I don't have a problem with the way it looks, but I do like the texture. The beaver tail's probably kind of nice. I figure, hey, for the price, it's something. I had to throw something that was 320 related in episode 320. So, you can boo me later.
Boo.
Boo.
You ain't my supervisor. I can boo you now.
I said later. Damn it.
So I checked it out because they did have them over at the SHOT Show. They had these, but I did not find their booth at SHOT Show, nor did I stumble across them at Range Day. But Gun Snob did, so I checked out his video, and then I found a couple people who had one. I don't know if you said it, but it changes the grip angle to a 1911 grip angle and gets rid of that palm swell, and also it increased the stippling on it. It's in a totally different spot, so it changes the feel of the entire gun itself. I don't know if you want that or don't want that. If you're used to one and not the other, but I feel for $50 you can pop it on and check it out. It's $50. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, I think it was around $50, right? That was the MSRP.
$60 is the MSRP. So,
well, it's still cheaper than just the Wilson Combat version of it, which I think was like $85. If I remember.
That's right. I remember from last week.
I'm like, it's no, no. But I found it interesting. I'm one of those dudes that actually like the Sig. Okay, what is this? The P320. I like the Sig P250, which was the hammer-fired version of this. I actually like the trigger pull. I thought it was really cool. And then when the striker fired, but everybody else hated it. So when the striker fired version came out, I was just like, I have nothing to do with this. And of course, everyone liked that one.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the thing about this too is if you decide you don't like it, it's a P80 product, so they're pretty well known. You could probably get rid of it for $30, $40.
Yeah,
you
you
know,
could at
and
least
not totally lose all your money.
Now, I don't think I did mention this is not an 80% because the way the 320 is, if you don't know, you'd buy it from them. It's complete, and you pop your 3 pins out of your 320, put the whole assembly into this, and put the pins back in.
Yeah, it's a drop-in module.
Yep.
What is the cost of the grip module from Sig?
I think they're like $50 or something.
Yeah,
so
it's
about
around
the
that
same price.
Yeah, I looked it up for last week's show. Yeah, it's about $50.
Yeah, I was thinking they were around there.
So this is similar in price, and it looks like it's got some of the features everybody loves. The double undercut is nice. I think the polymer 80s have a decent grip to them. Like if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I played with one, but yeah, I mean, if you're into this kind of thing, and again, if you don't like it, you're out $50. Yeah,
exactly. It's not like you're going to break the bank. I mean, if $60 breaks the bank,
practice your stippling.
Yes. Yeah, if you don't like the texture for this price, you can just break out your soldering iron and start stippling your own.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did my first stipple job was on a Glock, so I was like, I can't screw this up. On a Sig, if you screw it up, you just buy another one. It's easy.
Hey, I let's see. Late Bloomer is here.
Hey, I made it though.
You did make it finally. How are you, Maddie? Did you miss anything?
I'm doing good. I probably missed everything. But I came in at Polymer 80s, and who doesn't love those?
Yeah, it's the 320 grip frame they make. So, you got any words on it?
Not yet. I've stifling the whole 9 yards with that, and just Polymer 80s in general is a platform I have yet to venture down, but I'm very interested in it. 320 though is actually one of my newest handguns that I got, and so far I really like it.
Well, now you can get a Polymer 80 grip frame for it.
Well, there we go. I mean, why not jump down the rabbit hole?
You might as well.
Just feet first. I mean,
exactly.
Go big or go home, right?
That's right. Anybody else got anything? Or are we done with this thing finally?
Done.
Next.
Okay. So that was the Polymer 80 grip frame. Next up is the new Sig P220, not Legend, as Tony says, but Legion. 10 millimeter single action only. MSRP is around $1,300 because Sig does not publish them on their site. It's kind of a guess as to what the price will be. Basically, yes, this is a Sig 220 in 10 millimeter. It is an 8-round magazine based on the 220, so it's a single stack, full size frame basically. The single action only does come with X-ray 3 day-night sights. It does not have a threaded barrel. Kind of disappointed since it is a Legion model, but hey, what do you expect? Overall length is 7.7 inches. Width is 1.3. Height is 5.5. Barrel length, it is a 4.4 inch barrel. No, wait, wrong one. It is a 5-inch barrel on the 10 millimeter. It weighs 44 ounces. Wow. Sight radius is 7 inches. It's got a 1913 rail, not the Sig rail. It's standard curved trigger. I think you can get it with a flat trigger, maybe. It doesn't look like yet. It would not surprise me if they come out with one. It's got G10 grips. Everything else you can probably guess. Let's see. It's Cerakoted in their Elite Legion Gray, of course. Let's see. It looks about everything you need to know. But I do know that Gray's Guns also helped work on this. And they do a lot of respectful work on SIGs. The 220 Legion, the only thing I don't like about it is the single stack. But as far as it goes, I actually like the gun, how it feels in my hand. And, 10 millimeters, the new everybody needs it gun. I still don't have one. Maybe I should get one.
It's the best millimeter.
The best millimeter?
That's
10
not true.
millimeter,
Matt.
the new 40
That's
Smith
not
and
true.
Wesson.
I thought 40
all.
millimeter was the best millimeter.
Well,
40
that is the
40
that
millimeter
is the best millimeter.
is the best millimeter.
all the millimeters.
But back on this 220, it's a full size heavy gun, but in 10 millimeter, it might shoot pretty nice with that being 44 ounces or whatever it weighs. $1,300 doesn't sound terrible for what their Legion series is. That's my opinion. I don't know if I'd probably buy a Sig, but I might, but I'm not really in the mood for a 10 millimeter right now.
How does the Legion thing work? Do you have to become a member before you can buy the gun, or does buying the gun make you a member?
No, buying the gun, I think, makes you a member, and you get a coin, like a challenge coin, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
get
And you
registered.
get access to like all those fun things on the website, like the Legion T-shirt and the Legion hat and the Legion zip up.
That
So
sounds like
it-
something
Yeah, you can
like
buy all sorts of
Ferrari
crap.
would do.
I mean, stuff.
It is. I mean, it is a fanboy club. That's period. That's what it is.
Hey, by the
Now-
sounds of it, it might be a fangirl club too.
But I'm not in that club. I can't afford that.
Well, I here's the funny part, because they were having Legions. I was able to check some out, and you can catch them on sale for about $6.99 for like 226 Legions and stuff like that. And then that gets you into a little fan club, and you can order your own little freaking. Now I know it comes new, but you can choose to order your challenge coin or not,
Oh.
and it comes with your serial number on it. And then, of course, you can order your special Legion case and your special Legion blah. And then they have, and I love this one, once a year, SIG has a range day for SIG Legion owners. And I'm like, all right, cool. They invite you over. Oh, no, it's $5,000 for the weekend.
Wow. And
Ouch.
you probably have to go up to New Hampshire, right?
Yeah, of course. Yes, you have
Yeah,
to
it's
go to
probably
New
at the
Hampshire.
SIG Academy, I would assume.
Yes, it's at SIG Academy, and you go up there for the weekend, and you have all kinds of SIG classes, and they give you SIG stuff, and you can win SIG guns. And if you bring a guest, they only have to pay like $3,500.
Wow, cool.
The gift
Oh, man.
that keeps on giving.
Dude, I'm like, wait a minute. What kind of, okay, let me go ahead and say this about the guns, though, because, I mean, I have shot at 226. I have not shot at 220. They are a step up on SIG. All right. They have undercuts. They have the cool paint job. They have stippling even like under the trigger guard. It's a nice gun. It's a nicely done SIG. But truthfully, the whole thing is buying into the fanboydom of the entire thing. I just find it funny that you're going to pay all this extra money for a 220. It doesn't take an optic. It doesn't take an optic at
Well, it
all.
doesn't even have to be a 220. You can get the P238 Legion, and boom, you're still in the club.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Oh,
carrying
yeah.
the little micro version. So that's the poor man's way to get into the rich boys club.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because you want to be the poorest dude on the block in the rich dudes club, because you do. That way nobody's going to steal your gun. My thing is, it only comes with 3 mags. Now, I mean, I go back, and I'm sure all of us do, perusing their website and checking out the cool stuff they used to have, because they have 900 SKUs at SIG. They used to have the Blackwater edition. They gave 5 mags with that. How are you going to have Blackwater have 5 magazines with their SIG Tactical 226, but for something you're paying to get into a club, you only have 3? Come on, SIG, get with it.
Hey, Tony,
Yep.
my best question for you is, though, is this jersey legal because of 8-round magazines?
Of course it is. We have 10 round.
Exactly. That's why.
And here's the great part about it, though. Look, if you're limited to rounds, get the biggest rounds the gun can hold. So, yep, 10 and 45, and there you go.
Yep. Tony,
Yes.
I don't have anything else to say on this.
Yeah, I'm very SIG agnostic, I guess. They've just not been a gun company that's really on my radar. So I don't care.
SIG to me is classic SIGs. I mean, the 226s, the 220s. Those are the cool guns that I thought. Once they went the whole striker fired polymer just like everybody else, and you still kept the high bore axis for no reason, I don't get it.
Yeah, so I think I would probably like the single action only versions. Okay, my biggest problem with like the 226s is that the placement of the decocker is such that my palm sometimes my support hand palm will start screwing with it and start moving it a little bit.
Just
Right,
get the
and
single action only. Get the single action
That's what
only
I'm saying.
version of
So,
that.
Yeah.
yeah, the single act, but then at that point, do you just get a 1911? I don't know. So I've always been very Sig agnostic. I'm just not. I don't dislike Sigs. Whatever. If you like it, get it. If not,
I don't dislike Sigs. I just usually can't afford Sigs. So,
Mhm.
you know, hey,
And truthfully, with me, when it comes down to Sig, I'll buy CZ.
Oh, you're the okay. Wow. I love
And-
it. I love like okay, that's sad to say, but like the 238 is my favorite carry gun, hands down. It's small, it's compact. I mean, sure, it's only a 380, but like I can hide that under almost anything, and that works really well for me. And it's pleasant to shoot because it's actually like it's got some heft to it. It's not like a 380 bodyguard from Smith and Wesson,
Yeah.
which I also own one of those for the summertime weddings. But that's not the point. Point is, I love Sigs. Sigs.
I'm
I'm not a Legion fan necessarily because I'm a single mom and I can't afford that club. But hey, I'll still carry a 238 all day.
Yeah, I've shot one in class. So have you, right, Zane?
Yeah, I shot a 238. I didn't hate it. I don't like the safety on it, but I did. It was very very easy to shoot with because it's heavier and it's 380. So
yeah,
it'll
gotcha.
do the job.
I guess I'm with Tony. I'm a hipster. CZ all the way.
Well, it's funny because I was a CZ fan before I ever learned the term hipster. But that's great. Everybody else is coming to the party and now get called whatever the heck they are.
Tony, hipster's been around a long time. Now, if you lived in Oregon, you would understand hipster. Maddie, I'm sure, understands hipster.
So
Yeah, when I think hipster, I don't think of guns at all. I think of a dude wearing like a plaid shirt, but he's never changed a tire, and he's riding a bicycle to go to like a brewery where he's going to be an IPA snob, and then he's going to like, he's probably a dick.
Hey, I'm an IPA snob, so go away.
I'm just thinking of a couple weeks ago. I was definitely in a brewery in a plaid shirt drinking IPAs.
Have you ever changed a tire?
Oh yeah, yesterday in fact.
That's even better. Okay, so
It's these hipster boys that got me banned from Tinder for life, and now I'll never find love.
they're saying you just gotta go to Florida.
I don't know how you get banned from Tinder because, well, anyways, that's
And
a
they
different
take that
podcast.
seriously. I'm not getting like they're not letting me back in. They took that
Hey.
real.
And welcome to Gun and Dating.
Well, I just find it funny. She got banned from Tinder and I got kicked off LinkedIn. What a crew.
Hey, I do not judge here. If that's your thing, hey, whatever. I'm
Pro tip: you can always sign up under your email and under your phone number. Just there might be reasons.
They use
how to circumvent
what is
social
that,
media by Zane Mandello.
your IP address. They got your IP address. Believe me, I only tried to hack back in once.
What you got to do is you do it from a different IP address, like at work on their computer. Just saying.
When you're a professional poop poster like Zane is, yeah.
You get banned from everything.
Zane got burner phones just so he can go on friggin' Mom's Demand and cause crap.
And now we're gonna try to get back on track, thanks to everybody, including myself. No, that's okay. So that was the Sig P220 Legion in 10mm single action, because why would you want a double single? But that's my opinion. Now we have something else because, hey, we threw a scope in last week. We're throwing another scope in this week. Bushnell has released their Match Pro in 6-24 by 50. MSRP on this is $499, and what they tout it for is for NRL 22 rifle competition, which I can see how it would be a good scope for this, depending on what it looks like when you shoot through it.
This is for what?
Etc.
I'm sorry.
National Rifle Long Range 22. Is that it? NRL 22 rifle competition.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like where you shoot to like 200 yards with rimfires to help you to practice for,
with a
PRS.
6 to 24.
Yeah, on a 22,
Okay.
200
All
yards.
right, I'm just
yeah.
making sure I heard that right. All right.
That's why, I mean, I wouldn't have a problem using that. But that's just me. I mean, you've never shot sage rats. I mean, they're like 6 inches tall, and you shoot them with 22s from who knows how long. But that's just something you do out west. But Bushnell has come out with this. It is a first focal plane reticle. Right now, you can only get it in. Let me get to the right page here. In a mill turrets / mill reticle. I'm assuming they might come out with an MOA one. I'm totally lost where I was for some reason. Here we go. Like I said, first focal plane. The parallax you can adjust down to 10 yards. So if you got super close shots, it's 10 mil turrets. You have 18 mil travel, windage, and elevation. So with a 25-yard zero, it says with a 30 MOA base, you can pretty much get where you need to get. Leaves enough working travel to be successful with match ammo, which is a lot of times not supersonic. It does have a toolless zero reset. That's kind of what caught my eye actually on it. Etch dot reticle. It is illuminated. Large locking turrets, positive clicks, as it says. That would be depending on if you actually saw it to see. Precision glass, all the normal stuff. Nothing else in here that really catches my eye. It is a 30 millimeter tube, I believe. Eye relief is 3.74 inches. The thing is 14 inches long. It is 28.8 ounces, so it's not light. Total adjustment range is 18 mils or 65 MOA if you want to convert it. Like I said, locking turrets. It is basically a new line of scope for Bushnell. I would like to see one to see how clear it is. Some people have had a lot of problems with Bushnell in the past. I've had some of their kind of mid-range in the like $200 to $300 scope range and not had problems. Some of their less expensive stuff, I know lots of people that have had problems. The reticle is your typical Christmas tree reticle style, which I like. And that pretty much sums it up. They do have, if you don't want to shoot it on a 22, they give you drops. So you need 9.7 mils of drop at 1,000 yards for a 308. So their scope, basically, they're saying we'll do it if you want to use it for that. Like I said, I've had good luck and bad luck with Bushnell stuff, so I'd really need to see it to see. But the price is right. Anyone?
I'm
Well,
just
they're
glad
talking-
they matched the adjustment with the reticle. There's nothing that irritates me more is when you have a MOA reticle and mill turrets or vice versa.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that's the
I don't
worst.
math so well. Like, I can do mills, I can do MOA. I'm not trying
And
to multiply by 3.1 or whatever.
yeah,
Right? All right.
you cut out for a second. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. I do not like that either. I mean, at least like they did, mill turret, mill reticle. If you have an MOA turret, put an MOA reticle in it. Otherwise, I'm screwed up. I prefer MOA, but that's personal preference. Like I said, this is mill. Hey, if they want to send me one, I'll review it. Tony?
I don't know a dang thing about this. But if they'll send me one, I could actually.
Hey, I already
use
said
this.
that.
I could actually use this because I got a 3-9 right now that I'm going to be using for 100-meter testing on the rifles that I do reviews on. And I'm old and I'm blind, and a 6x24 would be more better than a 3x9.
Yeah.
And I don't math good either. So a 6x24 would be 83 times better than a 3x9.
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't
good
think that's
thing
how
you
that
don't.
works.
Yeah, well, that's how it works for Tony,
That's why I use a red dot.
and not the Bushnell because
Oh.
you had problems with the red dot.
Well, no, I've got two of them, and I put one on the SKS, and that sucker blinked on and off, like it was winking at me. But the other one worked really fine on the High Point 9mm carbine.
Right. And like I used to have one of their like AR scopes. I can't remember what power it was, but 4 to 12 maybe. But and it worked fine and was decent for what it was. So it's kind of one of those things. Do I have problems? Do I not? One of those things. Rob, do you need one for your 22?
I can always use another good rifle scope for my 22 rifle.
Yeah.
I don't know very much about this 22 precision rifle you're talking about, but I mean, 24 power seems a lot for 200 yards. But
Well,
You got to think about the size of your target too, Rob.
yeah. I mean,
well, think about this stuff. If you got that thing zoomed into 24 power, you move the gun just a little bit, that target's going to bounce all around like a ball in those lottery machines.
right. But it's a 22. There's no recoil unless you're Zane.
Well, plus normally at those big rifle matches, they use subsonic ammo because it doesn't twist or keyhole, or it maintains
My understanding with the standard velocities ammo is
Right.
because it doesn't transition from the hypersonic to the subsonic, so it
Now-
stays more stable.
Yep, that's why. You
Now,
want
Probably supersonic.
you want to
I don't think any 22s going hypersonic.
you want it below the sound barrier. You want it below the sound barrier because that changes where it impacts. And that also the sound barrier thing changes depending on of course the altitude and temperature. So you just want as many things consistent as possible.
Yep, you guys got it.
Now, I mean, I did take a class a couple of years ago for long range shooting, and this was in North Carolina, and the instructors did not bash Bushnell at all. They said actually one of their long range scopes was a pretty good scope with good glass. So I mean, if they've got the same style of glass, same tolerances in this scope as their other scopes at this price range, it might be a good buy for $500.
And that's kind of what I was wondering, and that's MSRP, so we know it's going to be available less expensive on the market.
Well,
Yeah.
Sean and I,
Without
go ahead.
without knowing more about the competition it's designed for, I don't know anything about that competition. So that's the caveat to what I'm about to say. So this comment may be way out in left field, but I almost feel like a fixed power would be better. If you're going to run a 24 power on a 22 because you're shooting at 200 yards, I don't see why you would need that huge adjustment range, I guess, unless you're shooting at unknown distances or something. And then I don't know.
My only question, and something Sean and I were talking about well before. A lot of people have a lot of companies have price range products. Like they have a range of products, let's say between $99 and $200 is their lower level, between 200 and 400 is a mid level, and then between 400 and I'm making up numbers, obviously, 800 is the higher level stuff, but it all would say Bushnell on it. So I don't know where this lands in their product line. Maybe they do have something that's the greatest bang for the buck for optic glass. Maybe this is in it. I don't know.
Yeah, and
Vortex is the same way. You can buy a $200 Vortex or a $2,000 Vortex.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
I think Bushnell's the same way. You can buy a $200 Bushnell or a $100 Bushnell, and
And the good news for
$1,500.
Bushnell, Nikon is out now.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe this is Nikon and they bought their information. Who knows?
Maybe
Yeah, what happened with Nikon?
they stepped out of the
Is
business.
that like a really, really long, they just did? Just one day they're like, hey, maybe not anymore?
I think they were not making enough money at it. They just decided to shut down their sporting division, I guess. Cameras were probably making way more money for them.
Well, yeah, I heard that the cameras are great, but the tactical
Yeah,
Gun
they
stuff is not so much.
yeah, compared to some of the other stuff. I don't think it was ever bad on the Nikon stuff. It just wasn't comparable to other
Well,
stuff.
I,
It
I
was
think
better than Simmon.
Yes.
nice.
Mhm.
I think Nikon was hanging out with the guys from Colt, and all of them decided to bail out right before freaking everybody started buying everything gun. Good move. If you'd have stuck around for another 6 months, you'd have sold everything you had out. Good job, Colt.
Yeah. And to answer Zane's question, on one of my 22s, I have a 4-16 scope, and I use it mainly to shoot sage rats, which are little ground squirrels that eat alfalfa. And it
So does Darla.
sometimes is not enough magnification to actually a scope like the 6-24 would work way better. That's just me.
Zane shoots gators. He don't know.
Yeah,
You
you
was
just
going
ran up allegedly in Minecraft.
Yeah, in
Oh,
Minecraft.
yeah, I'm sorry. Only gators that threaten him by trying to steal his truck or his low recoil 22 rounds.
That's right.
Okay, so
AKA the BB gun.
go check out the Bushnell Match Pro if you're interested. Some people may, some people not. That's that. We do have listener feedback, and they only said bad stuff about Tony. So now, of course, the other stuff is a little funny. I must say, it says, "Dear Chad, Rob, Tony, and Zane, Maddie, you're left out because you're never here. I'm a loyal fan of the show, and hearing your voices has kept me stable during the quarantine. Minus Tony's hacking cough and loud yawning. Tony, please cough. Seriously, Tony, do you not know how mics work? That was
Yes,
that.
obviously I cough and yawn in them.
Exactly. However, I made the mistake of watching a live podcast of your show and saw what you all look like.
Oh dear God.
No complaints, but none of you look the way I imagined, which is always the case when you see somebody in actuality. Attached are the photos of each of you as I imagined you look. Surely you can figure out who is who. All the best to you, a female listener from Westchester, Pennsylvania." So
I
of
came
course,
out as a winner in the picture contest.
Oh,
Zane,
yes.
Zane came out pretty good too.
Wow, he looks like Squidward.
No, that's Rob.
No.
So
Wait, who am
No,
I?
that
Batman?
guy, no.
yeah, you're Batman.
Am I Batman?
Zane is Batman.
Totally, I'm totally cool being Batman.
Yeah. Well,
No, that's not
actually, you're
Batman.
not Batman. You're Bruce Wayne.
I'm Batman.
Yeah. And Tony is some guy that I recognize but can't remember his name right now.
That's because you think all black people are Forrest Whitaker when you see him in a movie. You racist.
Wait, they're not?
Oh.
Forrest Whitaker was great in Training Day. Forrest Whitaker was
So-
great in Bad Boys.
So if you want to see the pictures, you can go to when this comes out, you can go to the show notes. But basically, I'm Ned Flanders and Rob is Squidward. And I got to go now actually to something like my mail and see who Tony is. Tony, do you know who you are?
Do any of us really know who we are, Rob?
And
Oh man.
and of course Zane is Bruce Wayne, which that hurt my feelings a little bit.
I'm Batman.
I think it was.
Yeah, Batman.
You wish.
Is that the older brother to that dude in Matrix?
Michael Keaton.
Yes, that is who it is. Where
Tank?
was I?
It was a Tank from Matrix.
Yes, I believe it's Yaphet Kodo. I
That's
know
Yaphet Kotto?
I'm mispronouncing his name. Yes.
No, it's Yaphet Kotto, yeah.
Yeah. So that's who you are, Tony.
Like Thinking Dozer or something like that.
Yeah.
You got it. So, thanks for your feedback. We'll see if we can get Tony to stop coughing after this COVID-19 is over. He might be able to get back to normal.
Nope.
Now,
Nope. Wasn't Dozer either. Nope. And I'm normal. Let me go ahead and one, apologize for coughing and yawning into the mic. It's not that I do it on purpose. It's just sometimes when you hit the mute button don't go.
That's true. It doesn't all the time. Tony, guess what? It's time for you to talk.
I would like to take the time out this week to go look. When we're under quarantine, as soon as I'll have news, I'll put it on Diversity Shoot. But please, guys, reach out. Go to the PayPal that's in our show notes. If you can, send money to Kenny, Kenny's family. Help with whatever expenses they have, if you can. And if not, there's also a page for his Second Amendment donations. If you can do that, do that. I'd rather use my time this week to actually honor a friend. So thanks a lot. I really appreciate the work we did together, Ken. And if anybody can donate, I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
You got it. So, since I don't have to say it this time, we will get into the wrap up. Send questions, comments, feedback, or your questions to gungearreview@gmail.com. Go pledge your support at gunandgearcult.com because, that's a good thing to do. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Of course, check out all the other great shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews. I do have one coming out. I just need to take pictures of stuff. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Firearms Insider. And of course, thank you for listening to the largest Super Duty podcast on the network. And we are out.
That's right, baby. We better than heavy duty. We super duty.
Yeah.
And Zane's just duty.
Duty.
Aw. Are we still live?